There is progress and success in life. Life gives back what you give to it. It takes a man who believes in himself to create wealth. So keep working hard. Never lose hope in what you believe in. Ayakata. Life is not easy. Sigh. Make it take and judge. I want to use this special opportunity to recognize great Dim Odumegwu. I can't also forget General Philip Effiong. Okama Daloso. Kamcheta Panomen on the drum. Umoma Kubiwe. Anyena Fuakolu. Airborne. De facto government in homeland. Special recognition to every Biafran who have been supported. One, may Elohim continue to flourish in your different endeavors. He says, Mazinam de Gano, oh Amadike, one of Biafra, Egadi. The Prime Minister, Obatobiye, Ogechuku Keresi Mukelekio, Wokoma, Ogechio, Ogechukama, Ogechukuka, no, Ogechukuka, Onyamana Gidi Gidi Bakuro, Ogechukama, well, look at the Chukuka Sebele, Ogechukama, Ogechio, Ogechukama, Mabiko Yobo. Ogechukuka ina yono Ogechukama Ogechukuka ina yona nyasi Ogechukama Ayole Aiga kolole garole Uwe Cheta kwa na lubo fuo 1 + 1 is 2 2 + 2 is 4 Onye buru chi yuzo kwa no Don't give up when it's so close. It's so close. Ogechukama, never you give up, no. Ogechukama, believe in your dreams, brother. Ogechukama, never you say no. Ogechukama, Ogechukama, never you down your bed, no. Ogechukama, keep your head up, keep on fighting more. Ogechukama, a big shout out to Mazio Ogechukwu. I sat my peer, Mazi Simoni Bad. Life is sweet when you're patient. The greatest shout out goes to the media team, great talent. Life is a process. No matter how you go about it. The Biafran Republic Government and Finance Minister is humbly campaigning for global Biafran financial support for the purpose of Finland Convention, Biafran Defense Forces, and redeclaration-related activities. I appreciate all Biafrans who are supporting our liberation movement. I also urge everyone to massively support more than ever. especially in these critical times. Oh, my fellow lovely great dear friends, let's together and support our Prime Minister, Master Simon Ekpa, who is currently working tirelessly to hand over our freedom to us year 2024. Freedom is coming, yeah. Yo. Masio Kechukunkere. Salute every Biafran, especially. Yeah. Okay, Chukukama. Okay, Chukukaina, no. Okay, Chukukama. Yamana gidi bulongu. Okay, Chukukama. Well, did Chukuka Sebele. Okay, Chukukama. Okay, Chukukama. Okay, Chukunkere Nekelunu. Okay, Chukukama. Okay, Chukukaina, no. Okay, Chukukama. Okay, Chukukaina, yasi. Okay, Chukukama. There is no magic to progress and success in life. Life gives back what you give to it. It takes a man who believes in himself to create wealth. So keep working hard and never lose hope in what you believe in. Ayakata. Life is not easy. Make it take and judge. I want to use this special opportunity to recognize great Dim Odmebujuku. I can't also forget General Philip F. Young. Okama Daloso. Men on the ground. Kubigwe. Anyina Fuakolunu. Airborne. De facto government in homeland. A special recognition to every Biafran who have been supporting from day one. May Elohim continue to flourish in your different endeavors. He says, Mazina de Gano, Ohamadike, one of Biafra. The Prime Minister, Obatobier, Ogechukunkere Simukelekio, Wokoma, Ogechio, Ogechukukama, Ogechukukaina, no. Ogechukukama, Onyamana Gidi Bakulonu, Ogechukukama, Uchukuka Sebele, Ogechukukama, Ogechukukama, Mama Biko Yobolisa, Ogechukukama, Ogechukukaina Yono, Ogechukukama, Ogechukukaina Yona, Ogama. Ayole, Aiga Kolole Garole, Uwibole, Chetakwana Lubafuo. 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4. Onye puru chi uzo kwano. Don't give up when it's so close. It's so close. Ogechukukama, never you give up, no. Ogechukukama, believe in your dreams, brother. Ogechukukama, never you say no. Ogechukukama, Ogechukukama, never you down your faith, no. Ogechukukama, keep your head up, keep on fighting, Ogechukukama. Big shout out to Master Kiri. I salute my PM, Master Money Bag. Life is sweet when you patient. The greatest shout out goes to the media team with talents. They won.
I did not jump in. I did not jump in. Yes, I did not jump in. They came to my house just to kill me. Did not jump in. And the Igbo man did not jump in. Your own Nigerian army just to see me there. Said that defendant did not jump bail. Defendant did not jump bail. I need my witnesses in court to testify. In Abuja. Oh, your uncle ruling my Lord. He did not jump bail. Igbo man does not run. Igbo man.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. If you are depending on forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one. Every one of us rise up. The armies are not neutral. They collude. They go with the armed bandits. They kill people, Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They are them. Depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one.
Jason, I want to thank him. February 2024, he had an important hearing on Nigeria and other advocacy throughout that time. So, the floor is yours.
Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for your personal invitation, for your leadership, and for your friendship. I'm honored to be back. Psalms 96:14 asks, "Who will rise for me against the wicked? Who will take a stand for me against evildoers?" Nigeria is facing the gravest religious freedom crises in the world. As the former chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee on Africa, I have visited and have seen firsthand the direness of the conditions in what is now the deadliest place on earth to be a Christian. They are targeted and killed simply for their faith. The ancient plea, "Is there no widow's son?" still echoes today. Since 2019, nearly 17,000 Christians have been killed. In the first 7 months of this year alone, hundreds more were murdered. On June 13th, during the Yellowwater Massacre, more than 280 Christians were slaughtered in a single day. These are not isolated tragedies. sustained pattern of religiously motivated violence, often ignored or even enabled by the Nigerian government. Extremist groups like Boko Haram, Fulani militants, and ISIS West Africa attack often without any meaningful intervention from authorities. The lack of response has created an atmosphere of impunity where Christians continue to live in constant threat and fear. The United States has previously recognized this crisis. President Trump not only designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern during his first term, but redesignated it again in his second term after President Biden inexplicably removed that designation. Religious persecution is tied to political repression and weakening institutions, period. Example, the detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a clear example. In 2022, Nigeria's Court of Appeal struck down the charges against him and ordered his release. The UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention has also called for his unconditional release. Yet he remains in solitary confinement, in deteriorating health, and recently had to represent himself in court. Nigeria has signaled that the law is optional and targeting Christians is fair game. Just hours ago this morning, the pleas and cries and many Nigerian lawmakers, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was convicted on all charges. For fiscal year 2025, the U.S. has requested nearly $8 billion for sub-Saharan Africa. But when Americans see political prisoners, judicial defiance, Christians, they understandably ask as they meet their own struggles, why should our tax dollars support governments that refuse to protect their own people? Is our aid aiding a genocide? Nigeria is a nation of tremendous potential. But that potential is being choked by violent persecution of its Christian population. No one can build a stable future where churches are burned, believers are killed, and community fear. The United States must stay engaged, and Nigeria must change course now. Mr. Pratt, a direct question. Do you believe, in your professional assessment, the government of Nigeria has been infiltrated by jihadists?
I do not believe that the government of Nigeria has been infiltrated by jihadists.
Okay, because when you look at the selective enforcement of the rule of law, one might question if there are any favoritism or looking the other way when groups are being specifically targeted, despite the fact, as my colleague Mr. Moore mentioned, not enforcing the rule of law with regard to weapons. My next question, how has the Nigerian government reacted since President Trump's country of particular concern designation?
They have taken the designation very seriously. There is a senior delegation here now. They will meet with the most senior officials of the U.S. government this week. And we have already demarched the government in Abuja and here in Washington on the action plan. And I can say that the results have been positive in terms of cooperation.
The Nigerian government needs to do more to address this issue themselves. What measures are being taken to assist Nigeria to increase its focus on persecution, particularly in the Middle Belt?
Yeah, so thank you for your question, Congressman James. As you mentioned, Middle Belt is a particular concern. That's where Christians, you mentioned Yalwada, where 250 or 280 Christians were killed, massacred. They were targeted because they were Christians. Churches have been burned there. There have been internally displaced people there. And so we're reviewing all options at the State Department, including Chairman Smith, you mentioned our bureau. We have Global Magnitsky Act sanctions. We have other tools at our disposal as well to make sure that Nigeria, the Nigerian government gets the message that we are serious about the persecution of Christians and other communities as well, but particularly Christians right now who are suffering disproportionately in the Middle Belt.
Thank you for your answer, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for having me again. God bless you, and good luck. I'm here for you.
Thank you, sir.
I resume my function as President of the Council. I now give the floor to the representative of the United States.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for chairing this important meeting. Thank you, Tariq, briefers, Secretary General Guterres, and Commission President Dr. Toure. Colleagues, as we speak, Al-Qaeda affiliated terrorists in the Sahel have paralyzed Mali with a fuel blockade. Colleagues, the situation is dire there. We see aiming to take over the entire country. The United States acknowledges the counterterrorism efforts of the Malian armed forces against these and other terrorist organizations such as ISIS, Sahel, but the situation is worsening quickly. We remained deeply concerned about the incidents of kidnapping, the incidents of hostage-taking across the Sahel as a means to finance these terrorist activities. Unfortunately, since the veto of the UN sanctions regime in 2023, it has been deeply disappointing to see Mali's security situation continue to deteriorate. That decision removed critical tools from the international community that it relied on to promote accountability and to promote stability. And the result has been an uptick, a massive surge in violence, has been a shrinking space for dialogue and growing risk for civilians across the country and across the region. The terrorist threats are not only intensifying, they are spreading, they are shifting southward, as evidenced by the terrorist attacks we've seen in Benin and Togo. But particularly, the United States is concerned and outraged by the ongoing slaughter of thousands of Christians in Nigeria by various ethnic groups in the Middle Belt, as well as terrorists like Boko Haram and ISIS West Africa in the north. It is tragic and it is unacceptable. Churches are burning, villages are being razed, thousands are killed, clergy murdered simply for wearing a cross, for being a Christian, for daring to say they worship Jesus as Christ. Just yesterday, 25 little girls were kidnapped from their school, and one school official murdered trying to protect them, from MAGA Comprehensive Girls Secondary School in Kebbi State. Colleagues, this is happening. It's undeniable, and it's unacceptable. The United States condemns these attacks in the strongest terms, and it demands accountability. And as President Trump has made clear, we will not stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria. The government of Nigeria must take immediate steps and do more to increase security, respond to early warnings, end impunity, and address the drivers of violence. And colleagues, we need to see African leadership on these matters, and we need to see a coordinated response among all countries in the region. The situation is critical. The United States will continue to work with regional partners to counter these common threats. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative for the decision. The Council. I'll give the floor to the representative of the United States.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for chairing this important meeting. Thank you to our briefer, Secretary General Guterres, and ECOWAS Commission President Dr. Toure. Colleagues, as we speak, Al-Qaeda affiliated terrorists in the Sahel have paralyzed Mali with a fuel. Colleagues, the situation is dire there. We see Al-Qaeda aiming to take over the entire country. The United States acknowledges the counterterrorism efforts of the Malian armed forces against these and other terrorist organizations such as ISIS, Sahel, but the situation is worsening quickly. We remained deeply concerned about the incidents of kidnapping, the incidents to finance these terrorist activities. Unfortunately, since the veto of the UN sanctions regime in 2023, it has been deeply disappointing to see Mali's security situation continue to deteriorate. That decision removed critical tools from the international community that it relied on to promote accountability and to promote stability. And the result has been an uptick, a massive surge in violence, has been a shrinking space for dialogue and growing risk for civilians across the country and across the region. The terrorist threats not only intensifying, they are spreading, they're shifting southward, as evidenced by the terrorist attacks we've seen in Benin and Togo. But particularly, the United States is concerned and outraged by the ongoing slaughter of thousands of Christians in Nigeria by various ethnic militias in the Middle Belt, as well as terror Boko Haram and ISIS West Africa in the north. It is tragic and it is unacceptable. Churches are burning, villages are being razed, thousands are killed, clergy murdered simply for wearing a cross, for being a Christian, for daring to say they worship Jesus as Christ. Just yesterday, 25 little girls were kidnapped from their school, and one school official murdered to protect them from Comprehensive Girls Secondary School in the state. Colleagues, this is happening. It's undeniable, and it's unacceptable. The United States condemns these attacks in the strongest terms, and it demands accountability. And as President Trump has made clear, we will not stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria. The government of Nigeria must take immediate steps and to increase security, respond to early warnings, end impunity, and address the drivers of violence and call the African leadership on these matters. And we need to see a coordinated response among all countries in the region. The situation is critical. The United States will continue to work with regional partners to counter these common threats. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of the United States for the statement.
This legislation would
And now I'll give the
thank
floor
you, Mr. Chairman. I speak in support of H.R. 4397, the Muslim Brotherhood Terrorist Designation Act of 2025, led by Representatives Mario Diaz-Balart and Jared Moskowitz. This bill would designate the Muslim Brotherhood as a foreign terrorist organization and establish a process for designating its members, branches, and affiliates. The bill amends the Anti-Terrorism Act and Muslim Brotherhood in the same manner that the PLO, the Palestine Liberation Organization, was treated during the height of its terrorist activities. It would prohibit Americans from transacting with the Brotherhood and prevent its members from entering the United States. This legislation would codify key elements of President Trump's recent executive order and provide a permanent statutory framework to address the ongoing threat posed by the Muslim Brotherhood and its violent offshoots. Despite its efforts to present itself as a mainstream political or social movement, the Muslim Brotherhood and its affiliates are rooted in an extremist ideology with a long history of supporting terrorism. Founded in 1928 by Hassan el-Banna in Egypt, the Brotherhood's goal from the beginning was to establish a global caliphate based on Islamic supremacy, to restructure societies and governments according to its interpretation of Sharia and to advance a radical agenda. When I was stationed in Egypt under Mubarak, Mubarak was still there, he had Egyptian armed forces kick down doors and simply shoot who was in the room, Muslim Brotherhood. While the Brotherhood often maintained deniability, many of its branches and affiliates provide the ideological justification, financial support, and recruitment pipelines for jihadist violence. The Brotherhood has directly inspired or supported terrorist organizations, including Hamas and Al-Qaeda. Its influence extends across the Middle East, Europe, and into the United States. The violence and instability it has fueled has already led Saudi Arabia, Jordan, the UAE, and Egypt to ban the organization outright. This will bring U.S. policy into alignment with our key regional partners. More importantly, the Muslim Brotherhood provides material support to U.S. designated terrorist organizations. That fact is not speculation. It is documented in the Brotherhood's own internal strategy papers, including the 1991 explanatory memorandum on the general strategic goal for the group in North America, a document that was seized by the FBI in 2004 and admitted as evidence in the Holy Land Foundation terrorist financing trial. That document, written by a senior Muslim Brotherhood leader in the United States, explicitly describes the Brotherhood's work here as a kind of, and I quote, kind of grand jihad in eliminating and destroying the Western civilization from within and sabotaging its miserable house so that Islam is made victorious over all other religions and civilizations. It lists dozens of Brotherhood front organizations operating in the United States and outlines a long-term plan to infiltrate and undermine American institutions through a, quote, civilization jihadist process. That's the Muslim Brotherhood's own description of its mission on American soil, in its own words, recovered by our law enforcement. The threat that this violent Sharia extremist group opposes America is clear. The evidence is overwhelming, and the time to act is now. Designating the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization is long overdue, and I urge my colleagues to support H.R. 4397, and I yield back.
Land of the rising sun, willow and cherry, beloved and home, land of our brave heroes. We must defend our lives, or we shall perish. We shall protect our hearts from all our foes. But if the Christ is dead for all we hold dear, then let us die without a shred of fear. Hail to Biafra, consecrated nation. Oh, fatherland, this be our solemn pledge. Defending thee shall be our dedication. Spirit of God will count our privilege. The waving stand that which emboldens the free shall always be our flag of liberty. We shall emerge triumphant from this ordeal, and through the crucible unscathed we'll pass. When we are poised, the wounds of battle to heal, we shall remember those who died in mass. Then shall our trumpets fill the glorious song of victory. We scorn might and wrong. Oh God, protect us from the
triumphant from all our foes. Through the crucible unscathed, we passed victorious. Our trumpets heed the glorious song. Play it, sing it, all hail Biafra. All hail Biafra. We shall always remember all that perished in the struggle for freedom. All hail heroes, our precious kingdom, both day and night. Say them always, all hail Biafra. All hail Biafra. No sun shines everywhere. We crave humility, but guide and protect us all. All hail your wisdom, shielding us from fury, unleashed by your enlightenment. Biafra, shining forever.
We observe a minute silence to the fallen heroes of Biafra, and the time starts now. We mourn our heroes past, we celebrate them, and our heroes living as we continue to fight on to see that Biafra is fully restored. Ise, 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 Ise. Welcome everyone to this emergency media press briefing from the office of the acting Prime Minister. And without wasting our time, I will invite him to the screen. So, the press and the media, the lovers of Biafra and lovers of Christians, I welcome and present to you the acting Prime Minister of the acting Prime Minister, His Excellency Honorable Kere. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, Minister of Information, Honorable Mazi Sonny Agbarawa. Thank you, you and your entire team for the great work that you are doing for the Biafran people. My fellow, as we are drawing closer to our freedom, to our total liberation of our land from the hand of the enemy, the invaders, those that have come to kill us, to occupy our land, to exclaim us, chase us out of our land. We need to be vigilant. We need to be vigilant so that what happened to us in 1967 to 1970 will not repeat itself. We can see the playbook of the British government about to repeat itself. So we need to be very, very vigilant. I'm going to ask Minister of Information, Mazi Sonia Barawa here. He is going to be reading from the classified information from UK about what actually happened and transpired in the genocidal war against the Biafran people. And I also want to use the opportunity to acknowledge our leaders in detention and to let Biafrans know that what we are doing, our resistance, our fight for freedom is what we release them. We remember them, we appreciate them. We appreciate our heroes, all the British cabinet members, ministers, reps, and admin, and all Biafrans in general. We appreciate everyone. Honorable Minister of Information, you can go ahead and read this vital information for Biafrans that are not aware of what happened from 1967 to 70 and before 1967. So we need to take our fellow citizens back to memory lane. We will not allow the playbook of the British government to repeat itself again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, APM. And thank you very much to all Biafrans. Please, as you join, you invite other people in because the APM is here to set the record straight. It is imperative for you to know that Britain facilitated the massacre of Biafrans in Nigeria to protect their oil interests and gas. And what you see today is that the U.S. government, USA, American citizens, the lawmakers of America are working so hard to free the Biafran people from the Islamic Jihadist terrorists, which Britain created. So Britain created the chaos, and then US is now liberating. All right. On the 50th anniversary of the end of the Biafran War, the world's worst humanitarian crisis in the late 1960s, the classified British file shows that Harold Wilson's government secretly armed and backed Nigeria's aggression against the secessionist region. These are pictures of peace. In Hungary, Biafran children at the Red Cross Food Distribution Center, photo by Peter Williams and Wikimedia. So we will be focusing on the important part because time will not permit us to read everything. All right. The then Labour government secretly provided large quantities of arms to the Nigerian federal government, which early 1970 had crushed an attempt by the country's eastern region of Biafra to gain independence, which it had declared in May 1967. During the 3 years of war, up to 3 million people died as Nigeria enforced a blockade on Biafra, causing widespread starvation amid considerable international opposition to the conflict. British policy was mainly shaped by its oil interests. The classified government document from the time show our direct interests are trade and investment, including an important stake by Shell/BP in the eastern region. The Foreign Office noted a few days before the outbreak of the war in 1967. Investment by Shell/BP, then a joint company in Nigeria, which was partly owned by the British government, amounted to around £200 million at the time. The company was the largest producer of oil in Nigeria, most of which was in Biafra. Shell have much to lose if the federal military government do not